Hey, and welcome to Super Cast Brothers. I'm Johnny Rocket 525, otherwise known as Halo Infinite, otherwise known as FE411, otherwise known as Fire Emblem Freak, otherwise known as Twilight Journeyman, otherwise known as J Noodles, J, Jojo, Johnny, Jabo, Nuge, J Nono, Jogo, Bo Pomelo, and Jonathan Frahm. And my favorite Mii Fighter is the Mii Gunner. How about you?
Um, Slight concern. All those names were you?
Yeah, yeah, they were. All back in the day,
In
ranging from probably about 15 years ago, I want to say, to now.
so Halo Infinite is the name that you've used.
Yeah, it was a hand me down name on RuneScape. Probably, man, gosh, maybe before I was 10. I think Jose and I started playing RuneScape Classic in third grade, so that was like 9,
So
and he
some
just gave me that account.
so somebody predicted the title of Halo Infinite years before that would actually be the name of Halo 5.
Yeah, yeah.
The hell. Well, there is actually one name that I happen to know of that was
hmm
personally it's one of my personal favorites that you've used that you just forgot to mention.
Is that so?
Yes. How dare you? How dare you not reveal the beauty of the name Juju?
Well, it's that was an amended version of JoJo used by one individual in particular. But dare we not go over traipsing over past histories. Nevertheless, um, with that said, a cringeworthy moment to kick off our new on topic episode. So that means that we've gotten through an on topic, a Smashtopia, and a Smasher Dash. So in theory, at the very least, there are people still listening after we've gotten through the first three pillars,
No,
the
there's
first
not.
cycle, if you will. Okay, well, we'll see. Maybe this one will go viral. Who knows? And in this on topic episode, episode 4, we are posing the question: Are Mii Fighters here to stay? Which reminds me, I don't think that you actually gave us your favorite Mii Fighter.
Not only that, I never even introduced myself. So, for
Who
those of
is this?
you who are tuning in for the first time, welcome. But I am Lister, otherwise known as Zantok. There's a couple other names, far less than Jonno over here, but I really don't feel like going into those.
Got it, Lions Kid.
First of all, it was Lions Kid, not Lands Kid. Yeah, damn hippie. Now, as for my favorite Mii Fighter, when I first think about the topic, my mind goes straight to sword fighters. I mean, hey, I like swords. Sue me. But then I think about, okay, what Miis have I actually used? And I haven't used them a whole lot in Ultimate. I'm disappointed that if I'm using the random dot, which is normally what I use, it never will give you a Mii, never, and I hate that. Like if I've
hmm
got a Mii, then it should be able to give me one of the randomizers. Now, if I have like 10 different Mii brawlers, it's only going to pick up one Mii brawler I say for the randomizer, and then it just randomizes which Mii brawler it gives me. That's how I feel like it should work.
hmm
But Smash 4, whenever I would pull out a Mii, it's in the middle of when I'm playing against other people, and I'm cycling through my characters, just having fun with it. And I decide, you know what? You know who'd be a fun character to kick some people's ass with? Let's do Santa Claus, the Mii brawler. Because the idea of
Yeah,
beating people with the jolly little Saint Nick is just too good.
and that applies to both Super Smash Brothers and all other facets of life, including the real world.
Well, yes, I mean, who else would be worthy of throwing coal at other people's face?
That's true. I was going to say, as you know by experience.
Yes.
Uh, so before we really jump into the question of our Mii Fighters Here to stay in future iterations of Smash, I think it would be pertinent to go back through the history of Mii Fighters in the series. And I know you've prepared a little bit of a spiel on that, so feel free to take the reins.
Indeed. So, as we all know, Mii Fighters first got introduced to Smash way back in Melee. Wait, hold on. No. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
I'm referring to when people used to fight each other because they lost. That's what I meant. My
Aha,
bad.
aha, yeah.
Um, no, but in all seriousness, Mii's actually have a little bit of an interesting history with Nintendo, or at least in my opinion, it's pretty interesting. They started
hmm
out just as plain and simple avatars that came in on the Wii. You could create
Hmm.
your own, either base them off yourself, create a character such as the Joker, Link, Ronald McDonald if you were feeling like a freak, I guess. But
I think I had a couple of Ronald McDonald's on
yeah,
my Meat channel. There was a baby Ronald as well.
that's a little weird, but okay.
Yep.
So if memory serves, you could have up to 100 Mii's saved on your Wii. And if you're like me and you're terrible at creating them, don't worry about it. You can download ones that other people created and just have them on your Wii instead. Which
Oh, I
is
love that
cool
channel.
if you're doing something like Wii Sports and you're going
Hmm.
to play baseball or whatever, and you want the team that you're going to be playing with made up of Mii's that aren't just the generic, boring ones. So go,
Yeah.
hey, look, I'm I'm at the bat, and the Mii pitching to me is Darth Vader. Does this make sense? No. Is it awesome? Yes.
Heck yeah.
And Nintendo also had like a channel where they would create different prompts, like pick a scaredy cat or make Luigi or whatever, and people could make their own Mii
Hmm.
and submit it, and then people would vote on which ones they like best. I actually participated in one of those. I don't remember which one
Yeah.
it was.
Neither do I, but I know that I've won a couple times too. That was a great channel. I kind of miss the you know, Neolithic drive and creativity of the Wii channels that we've
Yeah,
sort of lost over the years.
it really had
Uh,
some cool stuff. Like
yeah,
even the Everybody Votes channel, I had some fun with that.
so did I. It was a way to conduct national surveys without wasting tons of government money.
Yeah, but we started out with the
Even the
Mii's.
Weather Channel,
Yeah,
honestly.
and like
Anyway,
in some games like Wii Sports, you're playing as your Mii, but there are some games like Mario Galaxy, I believe, where the image of your Mii was the image for your save file, which was
yeah.
really awesome.
Hmm.
And people thought I was one of those people thinking, "Oh, hey, Smash Brawl just got announced. It's going to have Snake and Meta Knight and Wario and Zero Six Samus and Pit. It could have a Mii in it. That could be cool. We could be playing as a playable Mii. We could be playing as ourselves. That'd be awesome." Never happened. Didn't
No, it
happen.
didn't.
Not at
No,
all.
it didn't.
But to be fair, I mean, Brawl, and this is something you and I only really realized with the Smash 4 cycle, is
Hmm.
well, how Sakurai handles playing at the games is he creates a big old project plan ahead of time. But even if and he solidifies the roster and the stages and as much content as possible, he solidifies it way ahead of time, and he very rarely will make changes.
Yeah.
And for Brawl, it was created before before really Mii's were popular or anything, or before Mario Galaxy was released. I
Hmm.
was so sure we were going to get a Mario Galaxy stage. Didn't
So was
happen
I. Yep.
until Smash 4.
Yep.
But Brawl, we thought they were going to be Mii's. We were wrong. And Sakurai apparently actually did consider them because in a Famitsu column that he spoke in, which was issue number 455,
Hmm.
talking about Mii Fighters when they actually got revealed for Smash 4. This that I'm about to read was actually translated by the guys at Source Gaming, so full credit to them. They do amazing work. But this
Yep.
is what Sakurai said about Mii Fighters in Brawl and in Smash 4. The inclusion of Mii's was considered for the previous game, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, but after thinking about it for about 1 minute, I dismissed that idea immediately. So he didn't really think about it for much at all. He was just like, oh hey, what about this? Yeah, that won't work for this reason. So they weren't really thought
Hmm.
on too hard, but it wasn't that he at the very least considered. But he goes on to say that I didn't want bullying incidents to occur, and I felt like Mii's weren't suited towards fighting in the first place anyway, and playing against them I felt would be boring because they don't have any character. It's a fighting game, so you're not the only one who uses characters. You have to think about what
Hmm.
it's like to play against those characters as well. And I can kind of see where he's coming from here, is that they are as blank of an avatar as you can possibly get. It's not
Yeah.
like Robin in Fire Emblem Awakening, where, yeah, he's an avatar, but he's got personality, he's got character, and he actually kind of matters. The Mii's
Then you
were
have
literally
Corin,
just,
who just kind of matters.
yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. Nobody likes Corn.
Hmm.
Nobody. But the Mii's, I mean, he's right that they are completely faceless avatars, but where I disagree with him is where he says, oh, God. He says that they feel like it would be boring. I'm sorry, but with Mii Fighters, you could have the Colonel versus Wendy versus Ronald McDonald versus Hitler versus Santa Claus versus Barney the dinosaur. And what world is that boring? That's awesome. That is really cool to me. I love that you can do that. Now, some characters are harder to make as Mii's than others, like Barney is probably one of the more difficult ones. But there's some real good Ronald McDonald Mii's out there. And the one I used for Santa Claus, I loved that guy. It was great. Let me see. He also goes on to say that, however, since Brawl was released, Mii's have become more strongly associated as a personal icon because of Miiverse and other features. They are a character that you will always see if you turn on your Wii U, and will see with high likelihood if you use your 3DS. So you could say they are famous for Nintendo characters. I don't know if I'd use the word famous when describing Mii's, but yeah, when you turn on your Wii U, rip the Wii U, you would see a bunch of Mii's. Right there in the center is all the Mii's for anybody that has an account on your system. And then if you're online, there's all these different topics that are being shown on the Wii U around the screen. And Mii's around there are... It kind of looks like they're talking, but a lot of times these are Mii's that from people that have been posting on Miiverse, which was Nintendo's attempt at a social media platform.
And oh, was that ever fun?
I mean, it was fun during the hype cycle for Smash 4, where Sakurai would post his daily updates on there. That was cool. Yeah. Any other day or any other reason to use Miiverse? Yeah, nah. I mean, Splatoon had some good art, but still.
I don't know. I kind of farmed for likes on the YouTube Miiverse channel by posting like different drawings of different memes that were like passable, but they're easy to draw. Like I had a Gooby meme make like over 100 likes. That was the height of my career.
Don't you mean Yaz?
I have no idea. Let's keep going.
So Mii Fighters, I can understand where he's coming with the Wii U was like, yeah, we definitely need some Mii's in Smash. They're sticking around. Put them in there. You can let people play as anything. It's like, hey, look, there's a character that didn't get in the game, but you can use a Mii based off of them, and then it's kind of like it, right? I love that.
Yeah.
And that's actually part of what he goes on to say here with, however, the biggest reason for the inclusion of Mii's was because anyone can join. I know that having even a single character be playable in Smash is very important to those fans. I get requests from fans all over the world with no regard to things like production costs, copyright, and even for characters that aren't in games. Even if it's impossible, that these fans want those characters to be playable in Smash is a real desire. Although sometimes I gotta wonder with the people who say, hey, I want Home Depot or Corey in the house. What is wrong with you people? Seriously? I know you're memeing, but can you at least do a meme that's like, makes sense?
Yeah, like Yaz.
I don't even know what that is, but okay. Like, the people who say Goku, I mean, at least I can understand Goku over a fucking hardware store. Seriously. And you can make me as a Goku.
Yeah, you can.
But that's pretty much, and that's pretty much from Sakurai's perspective of how Mii's got into Smash. We didn't get them in Brawl when we were kind of wanting them, and it's really funny that for Brawl he mentions how they're faceless avatars that don't really have personality, because there's another character that's a faceless avatar without, well, there's a face, I guess, but it's an avatar without personality that people wanted in Brawl, and Sakurai's like, yeah, I know, I can't figure that one out. And that was the villager from Animal Crossing. And what happens for Smash 4? The villager was one of the first 3 new characters revealed.
Yeah.
It was Villager, Mega Man, and Wii Fit Trainer. Those are the very first 3 that were revealed. I don't even know what that is, so I'm ignoring you. So we got Faceless Avatar Villager. We got Faceless Avatar Robin. We got Faceless Avatar Mii Fighters. 3 of them. The Wii Fit Trainer. Eventually Corrin. Smash 4 was the game of Faceless Avatar characters.
Oh, was it ever?
Which was really weird looking at it at the time. But
yeah, it was.
Looking back at it and looking at Sakurai's comments from Brawl and then to Smash 4, it's like, wow, he really changed his tune on those.
He did.
And I also firmly believe, because in Smash 4 we also were able to get custom moves for each character. And for each character, I mean, like, they were kind of custom for some characters. Where characters have multiple variations on their special moves and you can mix and match. Mii Fighters and Palutena were the only characters that actually had completely distinct moves from each other that they could swap between. Like, the Sword Fighter for his standard special, he had like a shoot. He could shoot a small tornado. There was one where he could throw a small shuriken. And I think his other one was a bladed disc that would fly a short distance and fly back to him, if I'm remembering correctly. But that might be a side special. I'm not entirely sure.
I think that was the chakram, wasn't it?
It might have been called a chakram. Yeah, I'm not too
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
just remember it was a bladed ring in appearance.
Yeah,
But
that
me,
was a side special.
yeah, but Mii
Anyway.
Fighters had all these different moves that you could choose from. Palutena was the same way. Everybody else, they were more like variants. Like, hey Mario, do you want to throw a regular fireball or a big fireball? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
still cool, but yeah. But I do feel
Hmm.
like if Mii Fighters weren't added to Smash 4, there would have been no custom moves. I
I
don't.
agree, and I think that's really reflected in Ultimate too, because Ultimate they Sakurai just kind of batted an eye and easily just slashed them from the game.
Yeah, with the exception to again the Mii Fighters, who still kept their custom moves, while everyone else lost them.
Hmm.
Which I understand because that's a huge extra bunch of development that you got to deal with. Now it's
Yeah.
just okay. Here's a character. Now let's get their four specials, their final smash, their aerials, their grabs, normals, smashes, tilts. I think that's all that everyone attacks. I might be missing a category or two. But then with
Hmm.
custom moves, it's like okay, so we had four custom moves. Now it's 12.
Hmm.
That's a lot. That's a
Yep.
lot.
Yep.
Especially with
Yep.
some of them, it was like, wow, you're really reaching for this one.
Hmm.
Some of the variants were just piss poor. And I think
Yeah.
that's a large part of why they did eventually nix them. But I'm really glad they keep them for Mii Fighters because it really builds more on the customizability. Like, let's go back
Right.
to my Santa Claus Mii Brawler. The standard special that I like to give Santa Claus was the Shot Put special, which I think was his
Hmm.
standard special.
It's like
Because
tossing coal.
exactly, it was him tossing coal. But if it was one of the other ones, it's like, oh yeah, it's just a punch. It's like, well, that's boring, and that's not Santa Claus.
Hmm.
Why? I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Or if you were to
Yeah.
make Ryu Hayabusa as a sword fighter Mii, you're not going to give him the tornado. You're going to give him the
Hmm.
shuriken.
Yeah.
Even though the shuriken sucked, but that's the
Hmm.
different story. But the Mii Fighters, they had all this huge customizability to them. Personally, I love that they were added. Well, at first I was just like, when they were first revealed, I was like, that's okay, cool, Mii's. It's not what I wanted. Because in my
Hmm.
mind, I was like, let's not. I was not thinking Mii Fighters as in like a sword fighter, a gunner, and a brawler that you could do customize and choose from. I'm thinking it's just a Mii, a regular old Mii, and it's gonna be more based off of Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. So you
Hmm.
roll a bowling ball, you swing a baseball, you
Hmm.
throw a frisbee, I guess, fencing,
Hmm.
archery,
Yeah.
all these things
Yeah.
the Mii's could do, or you can have something to do with Wii Music or
Hmm.
Wii Party, whatever. That's
Hmm.
kind of what I had thought the Mii's would be in Smash, but Sakurai, he took my idea and he's like, nah. And he admittedly went in a way better direction.
Agreed. Agreed. Because people are using avatars of themselves. They'll want to have more customizability, and when you have three separate fighters on the table, what more what more can you ask for? I guess other Mii fighters, but it's a better basis than just one kind of crapshoot of a character.
Mm-hmm. The one thing that I think comes as a real big negative to the Mii Fighters is while there's always talk about slots and one character making in or stealing a slot from another character, and we already know that's not really how things work. At the same time, if you think about it, if we didn't have those three Mii Fighters, that's three other characters that we would have had.
We could have had Piranha Plant in Smash 4.
I'll keep the Mii Fighters, actually, now that I think about it. I will keep the Mii Fighters.
Okay.
Who would ever add a
Sounds fair.
Piranha Plant to Smash? What insane individual would ever think this is a great idea?
Sakurai.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yep. At least we have PD Piranha Mii fighters.
Honestly, why
Anyway.
isn't there a pretty Piranha Mii outfit? There
That would
should
be awesome.
and it should be a
Yeah.
gunner And the gun just looks
Shoot.
like a potted plant, or not the plant, but like the pot.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Write that
Okay,
idea
so
down for later.
I will. I will. I think we have a good amount of history besides going into me costume DLC, like getting the Geno outfit, the King K. Rool outfit, and SSB4, and now having Sans in the game,
Yeah.
like literally just Sans with the additional music piece. Um, Other than that, though, I think we've covered some good history here. Thank you for that.
Uh,
So I guess we can. What was
there
that?
is one thing that I forgot that I wanted to mention.
Okay.
When the Mii's were first revealed for Smash, first of all, the little trailer we got for them was amazing
Oh
because they
yeah.
showed us. If I remember correctly, I think it was Reggie and was it Iwata?
Iwata.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
Reggie and Iwata. It shows the two of them getting ready to fight each other, fist fight. It's
Hmm.
like, what's going on? Oh wait, no, am I thinking of the Arms trailer? I might
No,
be.
no, no,
No.
no. You're thinking of Mii Fighters. I
Okay,
know.
okay.
Yeah.
They might have done something similar for the Arms trailer then, but they showed
Okay.
the two of them running at each other, about to just start punching and kicking the lights at each other. It's like, what's going on here? Are we about to get Reggie and Iwata confirmed for Smash? Well, yes, but actually, no. It did show their Mii's fighting. It's like, wait, what is
Hmm.
this? This is awesome.
Hmm.
And they also gave us three splash images for the Mii Fighters, because for Smash 4 we would get, when a character is being revealed, we would get like a little splash image. It's like Mega Man joins the battle, or Mewtwo Strikes Back when he was revealed as DLC. I'm trying to remember
Hmm.
what the other ones were, but they are not coming to mind at all. That's really disappointing for me. Mega Man might have been Mega Man Powers
Piranha
Up.
Plant subverts expectations.
I mean, he did. But for the Mii Fighters, they brought some really interesting ones. We got Lincoln's gets sworn in. Elijah Wood
Hmm.
liked the battle.
Which was
And
the best thing ever.
it really was. And then for some reason, the most random one to me was Ice T pours it on. Who the hell's talking about Ice T in 2016 or
Oh
2014,
man,
whenever this would have been? I don't know.
Law and Order fans.
Well,
Anyway.
actually, yeah, that's a good point.
Yep.
But yeah, moving on from there, though, I just want to make sure that I was able to mention that.
Yep. Yep. That was fun. Thank you. Thank you for reminding us of Elijah Wood. So, anywho, I think we have
Taking the hobbits to
an
Isengard.
yes. I think we have enough ammo to approach the titular question.
Indeed.
Are Mii Fighters here to stay? Say that obviously they're here for Ultimate, and we're getting DLC for them. But when we get the next console around the bend, whether that's a Switch 2 or a Virtual Boy 2 or something totally new, will Mii Fighters return in Super Smash Bros. 6 or 7 if you're Sakurai?
Well, I mean, if you're Sakurai, it's actually 8, because I think you consider the DLC for Smash 4 to be Smash 6.
Okay.
Actually, I might be
Well,
misremembering that, because I know there was a rumor, just to go on this slight little tangent here, there was talk when towards the end of Smash 4's development cycle, or maybe it was during DLC, I'm not sure. There was a recruitment call that went out from Bandai Namco for a Smash 6 project, which some people thought, okay,
whew.
that must be what they're calling, that must be what Sakurai is calling DLC, because we know that he referred to Smash 3DS as Smash 4 and Smash Wii U as Smash 5. But now that I'm thinking about it, considering Ultimate must have started base development, or the project plan at the very least, either during the DLC phase or shortly after, maybe they're just talking about Ultimate that early.
Yeah, yeah. I would bank on it.
Most likely, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways,
Mm-hmm.
you were proposing the
Anyway.
question: will Mii Fighters return in the next Smash?
Yes, sir. I defer to you. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's it's a complicated subject. My initial gut reaction is, yeah, why not? It's
Mm-hmm.
that there's no reason not to bring them back. But I mean, really, for any of the characters beyond DLC or beyond the third party characters, there's also no reason to not bring any of them back. But
Yeah.
then I got to think about it. I'm like, okay, the Mii's were a pretty huge part of the Wii. They were an even bigger
Hmm.
part of the Wii U with Miiverse. But for the Nintendo Switch, they're really nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can
You
if
cut.
you can go through the menu and you can find the Mii creator, but it's buried under different options. It's
Yeah.
There's really been no improvements to it, and the only things that you really use your Mii's for are again Smash, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and you can set your profile picture on the Switch to be your Mii doing some kind of pose. Like my Mii, I'm looking at it right now. He's doing a flying Superman pose for
Hmm.
my profile image. But beyond that, there's
Hmm.
really nothing that Mii's have in the Switch, and it kind of feels like they're only on there because Sakurai is like, "Hey, Mii's are in Smash. Don't get rid of the Mii creator, please. I'm trying to do Everyone Is Here, and I can't do Everyone Is Here. The Mii's are gone, so please." And Nintendo's like, "Okay, fine, but we're gonna bury it and we're not gonna use it."
Hmm.
Which is really upsetting because there's not even a way, unless I'm missing it, there's not even a way where you can download Mii's that other people created. You can do it in Smash. You can download other people's Mii Fighters, but there's no way to do it on the Switch. So I can't just be like, okay, I've got a Joker Mii, a Burger King Mii, I've got a Cloud Strife Mii. Let's put them all into Smash, and we're just gonna go nuts. I can't do that. I can't do that,
Hmm.
and it's
Hmm.
upsetting.
It is.
And since they did that for the Switch, you have to wonder, okay, well, if they're doing that here, they clearly don't care about them anymore. Are they just going to remove
Yeah.
them? Because I mean, the Xbox
Hmm.
360 had avatars as well, which was a me, but slightly more realistic proportions.
Yeah.
But I don't recall them being on the Xbox One, or at least having a big place on it. And I could easily be wrong because I don't own an Xbox One, but
Right.
I don't ever see people talk about them like people talk about Mii's.
Yeah. And okay, that's a fair point. I think I'm on a similar wavelength because if there's anything that is disappointing about where the Switch has taken us, it's arguably in just the sheer creativity of the UI.
Oh
Well, then there's
God, yeah.
Nintendo Switch Online, but then that's a whole other story that we won't get into.
And that was probably a
Um,
different team that worked on online versus the Switch itself.
yeah. So the UI is clean, it's functional, but I would love to have folders. I would love to have the Mii's prominently featured again, like they were in the past two consoles. I mean, that's just the one thing that the Wii U kind of got right that the Switch. Oh well, it's not a huge deal, but it is dubious when you're considering the Mii's future because approaching where we see the Mii creator in the Switch UI, you really have to dig deep to find it. It's like reading the footnotes in a school textbook. I mean, you already don't want to read the school textbook. Why are you going to read the footnotes?
Yeah.
It's dubious. It's difficult to find, and you have to look into the footnotes to even get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
While we're on the
so.
subject of how far hidden the Mii creator is in the Switch, I got my Switch here right now, and I'm sitting on
Mhm.
the main homepage of it. I'm going to see where the Mii creator is and how long it takes to get there. So I'm sitting on the page where it shows all your different games. So I've got Fire Emblem Three Houses, Smash Ultimate, Zelda Breath of the Wild. They're all being shown on my front page. I go to
Mhm.
system settings first. Like, okay, maybe they're in there, and it's Mii is hidden down. You have to scroll down the screen to get to it,
Mhm.
and it's like create/edit Mii. That's your only option, and you can either it shows you a list of them. You can create a new one, either by taking from an amiibo if you save one to that. You can
Mhm.
choose a lookalike, which I think it just gives you some preset options. Yeah, it gives you some preset options that you can use as a standard base, and then edit them from there. You can send/receive, which I believe, yeah, it's only connecting to like local other consoles nearby. So like if I have my 3DS on, I can connect to that.
Right.
But that's all that there is with the Mii's.
Right. But at the same time, I think what makes the question more interesting because I think from this standpoint, we can just easily be like, oh yeah, Mii's are not going to return in Smash Six. I mean, Sakurai's already gone on record and said there is no way that every character from Ultimate will return in the next Smash game.
Absolutely.
Um, just it would be a dream, but it sometimes dreams can be dashed.
Huh.
And just in terms of development time, development cost, it's unfeasible, and I understand that. Um, so when you're approaching it from that angle, though, uh, Mies can easily be ousted, and there's enough of a basis there between Sakurai's own comments on character roster limitations and also the Switch UI already making them almost faceless, essentially. But consider the lengths that Sakurai has already gone towards in the past to cater to fans. I mean, we already have Mii sharing introduced in a new update, and all the stage builder and home run contest have all been added post launch.
Yep.
So he clearly cares about introducing these sinewy aspects back into Ultimate and back into previous Smashes. Like who here's banking on Smash Tour, right? But anyway, but say Nintendo just dashes the Mii creator in the coming game in the coming Smash iteration. One way they could work around that is what if Sakurai just decided, hey, let's put a Mii creator into Smash Six and jerry rig it into there. I mean, I would imagine that it would be less so uh, deeply creative tool than previous iterations of the Mii creator have been. But at the same time, it would be a way to offer a maybe a slightly limited version of previous iterations of the Mii creator that fits within the bandwidth of Smash's memory usage and wouldn't take too much development time. So that way, baseline Mii's could still remain in the game, and you can still include your likeness, still make something fairly feasible like a Goku, and inject it into Smash anyway, even after Nintendo has forgotten about the Mii's themselves.
I agree. I don't think it would be much of a problem at all for Sakurai to even just take the Mii creator as is and just
Hmm.
put it in Smash instead of being on the console. I don't think it'd be a
Yeah,
problem. It's
yeah,
the coding for that is going to be nothing compared to the coding of Smash itself. It's
exactly. I
probably
think it
going
would
to be
be
more on the level of well, I don't really know. I don't think I can really compare to what Inside of Smash Ultimate its coding might be compared to
yeah,
Inside's, but there's no way it's going to be that bad of a thing. Now Sakurai will likely want to do his own spin on things, or maybe he'll add in new hairstyles based off of other characters besides just being able to take like Link's hat and put it on your Mii Fighter. Who knows?
hmm,
Or maybe the outfits will be a part of the creator itself instead of
yeah,
just hey look here's your meat. Okay, now you can add an outfit onto it in Smash. Maybe those two features will be combined together. But
hmm,
there's also the question of Willie. Is there a point in doing that? Would instead he could just be like, well, Mii's are gone. Don't need Mii Fighters anymore. Why would I put
hmm,
in the Mii creator? Nintendo doesn't care about him. Because then also it's like, oh hey yeah, Mario Kart 9. You know how since the Wii we could have playable Mii's and race on them? Nope, not anymore. So would they also have a Mii
hmm.
created to Mario Kart? Yeah, that one I don't see
I
happening.
I kind of don't. Yeah, I don't think Miyamoto or Nintendo EAD would really emphasize that like Sakurai would.
Nah, not at all.
So yeah, it poses an interesting question. There's a definitely that dichotomy there where you can go either way, and we're really just not gonna know until Smash Six is out there for the world to enjoy. And
Yep.
so my additional thoughts that I'm taking off of this, you're right. Like uh, if we want to just take a stab in the dark at it, I'm just gonna say as a total casual towards Smash and towards development of anything pretty much in the gaming spectrum, I would imagine that a Mii creator injection would be maybe something like putting in a one level of home run contest into Smash, like nothing too crazy, but at the same time, home run contest couldn't be fit into Smash Ultimate Space Game
No,
with the time that they
that was
had for
probably more of a
development.
time constraint. It's like
Yeah, that's true.
what's more important to add? Make sure World of Light is awesome, or Home
Hmm.
Run Contest, which has not had any fundamental changes besides like the shield in Smash Four and being able to use two players. It's
Yeah.
been the same since it was added to Melee. It's like you play it once, you've played it forever. There's no point in
Hmm.
playing it more than that.
Right, right. Well, that's another point too, though. Is just judging the worth of the Mii's in that area when Nintendo's dashing them themselves. Is it pertinent to include a Mii creator in Smash when maybe that development time for the Mii creator could have gone towards including other characters who might have been on the line along with the Mii fighters towards including or not including? Like, say, Wii Fit Trainer was there, or even someone that I adore, like Ike was there, and oh, we can put in Wii Fit Trainer and Ike, or we can have the Mii creator put into the game.
And do
Wii
an
Fit
Ike
Trainer
Wii
and
Fit Trainer costume.
yeah, and I think I could easily be wrong, but in a lot of fans' eyes, I do think that Sakurai would probably see it the same way, that uh, individualized characters, going back to his comments on why they weren't in Brawl, because they're just baseline avatars compared to characters that are more or less beloved because they actually have more of their own personality and backstory, or at least facility for use, like Wii Fit Trainer, Wii Fit, and just the silliness of that. Um, so my opinion, I think, would be that if we're in this reality where Mii's don't really matter all too much, and Nintendo's either dash them away or they're just not really having a lot of emphasis, just like in with the Switch,
Mm-hmm.
then we're probably going to see them as low priority in Smash, especially when so many other characters are going to need to be cut. I can imagine that we might have a culling greater than most of the fan base is willing to admit. And in that case, I think Mii Fighters would be more towards the top of the list, or at least the top half of the list than most characters were cutting. So I think our Mii Fighters here to stay in this theoretical landscape. No.
And
Thoughts,
it's hard to
questions?
argue. It's hard to argue
Mm-hmm.
against that because when you look at all the evidence and the way it's been presented thus far, it doesn't look good for the Mii Fighters. I mean, who would you rather have? These three random Mii Fighters, or Wario, or Ike, or Duck Hunt? Okay, maybe that's a bad example because a lot of people don't like Duck Hunt.
Piranha
But
Plant. Incineroar. Yeah. Yeah.
no, like who?
Okay.
But there's a lot of characters. Just like you, if you weigh them, do like a smash or dash 1v1 solely against character versus character. Me the Mii fighters are not going to win against most characters currently in Smash. They're not.
Right.
They're
Right.
probably they're going to beat most of the Echoes. They're going to beat Rob. They're going to beat Duck Hunt. They're going to beat Wii Fit Trainer. They're going to beat
Corin.
Corrin.
Yeah.
But Mario, Link, Samus, Ridley, King K.
Mm-hmm.
Rool, no way. No, they lose
Yeah.
every time.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I don't think all hope is lost for the Mii Fighters. There is
Is
one
that so?
huge part of the conversation that has not been broached yet, and I think is a major reason for why the Mii Fighters could stay. And not just could stay, but should stay. Even if it means in the great culling that's likely to happen for the next match, we do lose characters that we love, like Ike and Wario and whoever else. Even though I know the idea of losing Ike for Mii Fighters is something that's probably making your eyes go a little bit red.
Wario would just be sacrilegious
I
as
mean,
well.
let's be real. They ruined Wario in Smash 4. He was great in Brawl, and they're just like, yeah, let's make him dumb. Like, cool, thanks. But what I mean when I say there's a reason that they could and should return is quite simply Mii costumes. There's a lot of
Money.
different. Yeah, well,
Yep.
that's a big part of it. Yes, because like with the Mii's, they come with all these costumes that you can wear. Like, you have your generics like the SSB T-shirt. There's a business suit, butler maid outfits, biker gear, tracksuit, vampire garb, plate armor, high tech armor, mage robe. All these I'm reading straight off of the SSB wiki. You have
Mm-hmm.
dragon armor, ninja suits, pirate outfit, samurai armor. You can look like a cowboy with Wild West wear. But more than that,
Mm-hmm.
we also got Mii outfits as DLC, such as actually this list doesn't differentiate the DLC, but typically speaking, the DLC is of other characters, and some of these characters are included in the base game, but a lot of these characters were released as DLC. You pay a small fee for them, and now you can dress up your character as a member of Team Rocket. You can dress
Yes.
them up
Yep.
as Rex from Xenoblade
Mm-hmm.
2, who only barely missed out on getting to be in Smash Ultimate. You can dress
Mm-hmm.
them up like Chibi Robo, the various versions of Mega Man, Tails, Knuckles, the protagonist from Persona 3 and 4, a few
The
different
big
Dragon
Yoshi.
Quest characters, Heihachi from Tekken, Akira and Jackie from Virtua Fire, Lloyd Irving, the Hunter from Monster Hunter,
Yep.
Sans, who I don't care for Undertale, but Sans from Undertale has a legit costume in Smash Ultimate that breaks the mold a bit, where it actually looks like the character, not just the damn costume. And it came with a music track.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
remix of Megalovania.
Yep.
And so looking at this, like, if we lose the Mii Fighters, we also lose this crazy customizability. We lose the ability to play as Knuckles when he doesn't get in the next game. We lose the ability to play
Yep.
as Isaac from Golden Sun when Sakurai does him dirty for the 4th time in a row. We lose the opportunity to see Mii costumes based off of characters that would be cool, but we don't know that we're gonna get. Doom Guy. We miss Edelgard. We miss the Mock Rider.
Santa.
Santa.
We miss
Well,
Santa.
there was a Santa hat in Smash 4, and I don't think it returned in
Yeah.
Ultimate, which upsets me. It upsets me greatly.
Shame.
I'm not happy about it.
Shame.
They could
Shame.
give us a Cappy hat, which
Yeah.
I'm looking to see if there was a Cappy hat. I'm not seeing it
I
on the
don't think
list.
so.
There probably isn't one. There's a Waluigi cap that we could wear, but we will lose that without the Mii Fighters. We lose all
Yeah.
this cool stuff in Nintendo. Put it back on their side of things. Would lose that extra bit of revenue from people who download the costumes of characters that they wanted to play as, and but the character didn't make it in the game, so now they're sad, like Gino.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the big crux of the reason why I think Mii Fighters could and should stay in Smash.
Okay. Well, can't really argue with that either, especially from the monetary aspect. That will give Nintendo a big incentive to keep Mii Fighters and to keep the Mii creator on the actual system and operating system for the next console as well. So I see your point, and I'm definitely not against the return of the Mii Fighters. I would be if they cut out Ike for them, but that's another story. So I guess that's just where we stand. Just for the sake of the conversation, I'm going to remain with my no, and I guess it sounds like you're leaning towards that yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. And of course, fair listener, you can always chime in and give us your opinion on that as well.
Yes, please
with
do.
that said, we still have this conversation is still going. We still got more content for you. And now that we've answered that question, we're going to move on to, let's just assume that Mii Fighters do return in Super Smash Bros. 6. What new types of Mii Fighters could there be to spice up the lineup? Because now we'd be going on for, what is it?
3 games.
Three games straight of just the same 3 Mii Fighter types and the same moves. So what can we do to freshen things up a bit?
First of all, I'll preface by saying, if Mii Fighters do return, I don't think we'll get new Mii Fighter types, but we should. Particularly, I feel like we need at least one more.
Agreed.
Just, spice it up a bit. The only downside to that is if we do get an extra one, that's technically speaking another character that we are potentially missing out on. So I could see, assuming the next Smash does feature a major culling, that we intentionally don't get a 4th Mii Fighter, but that in the next Smash after that, or maybe even as DLC, free DLC probably for a Mii Fighter, we could get a 4th one in that case. But if we do see a big old cut, like 40 characters get cut in the next Smash, I don't think they're going to give us a 4th Mii Fighter, because that's going to piss some people off. It's one thing when people realize, okay, you had to cut things down, it was a necessity, but you gave us another Mii Fighter? What? That would not go over well.
Yeah.
That said,
it would not turn it well for them.
yeah. That said, the fun isn't in saying why they shouldn't. The fun is in saying, but what if they did?
Yeah, yeah. And with that said, I've prepared a little list of ideas, and I'm pretty sure you have too.
Well, I've got a small list.
So okay, cool. Let's see. I'm just gonna jump on right on in.
Go for it.
So how about a me engineer? And what I
Intriguing.
mean by that is think industrial. Think Andy from Advanced Wars. Think Slippy Toad. Those sort of
Alfonso.
characters too. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um,
John
characters who
Henry.
operate. Yes, actually, rest in peace, codename Steam. Uh, so think characters along those lines who are industrial, who work with machinery, who develop machinery, and apply that to a me engineer. They can have all number of robotics and militarized weaponry on the side, like develop drones. You can have a something similar to Snake Cipher for an upbeat using a drone. Maybe you can incorporate drones in all manner of ways with explosive devices or ammo, uh, electric shocks. Generally, just any sort of status effect could be emitted from them. You can remote control them, maybe like in Star Fox Zero. You can have little baby different versions of the drones. You can have tanks. You can have ray guns, missile launchers, all manner of weaponry along those lines. So I think it would be a very interesting utilitarian character, and we don't really have a a technical character dependent on making devices and making weapons on the fly like that. So I think that would be a pretty cool inclusion.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. As you were speaking of like leaving drones or turrets behind or whatever, I was
Hmm.
getting feelings of well, the engineer from Team Fortress 2, but also Torbjorn from Overwatch.
Yeah, yeah, and those could be two costumes for the engineer.
Yes, they could be.
Yeah. So with that said, you got any ideas you want to pitch at us?
I've got three. I've
Cool,
forgotten
cool.
quickly. Oh no, never mind. I just remembered. I was trying to remember what one of them was because I had lost it. I'm gonna go in order of ones that I think are more difficult to add into Smash than the others.
Okay.
Which means the first one that I had to talk about is the Mii Musician,
Ooh,
which in my mind this takes a lot of inspiration from the game Wii Music, which had one of the worst E3 presentations of all time.
seriously.
Yikes, it was bad. But what I kind of envision here is I don't really see it as, oh, hey, this is a character that plays tuba or xylophone or whatever the hell. It's more like a conductor. So
Hmm.
they have like a conductor's baton, and maybe for some characters it actually looks like an instrument. I don't know, it doesn't really matter at this point. But they're using all these different attacks that are invoking music. So you might wave your little conductor's baton and send some music notes to it flying forward. Or you might cause a set of drums to appear in front of you that, well, they drum naturally because they're freaking drums. And then
Hmm.
shock waves of sound come flying off of them. Or maybe a
Yeah,
didgeridoo appears in front and you climb up it and that's your up special. That
that
was
would
a
be
little
cool.
weird. I don't know. It's
Hmm.
the problem I have with the Mii Musician is one, coming up with those attacks is quite a bit more difficult than a sword fighter. But there's
Oh yeah.
also the concept of costumes. Like when you were saying the engineer, you said right away some characters that could have easy costumes, like Alfonso, Andy,
Hmm.
Slippy, the engineer from Team Fortress, and Torbjorn. But when it comes to the Mii
Yeah.
Musician, um, Agent J from Elite Beat Agents.
Yeah, you can go Elite Beat
Um,
Agents, you can go Undone, you can go Rhythm Heaven. If you want to get a little flashier with it, you can go Jimmy T, uh,
yeah.
KK Slider maybe, but I mean, it's a little bit of a reinterpretation of a character since KK Slider would be holding a guitar, not a baton, but I
I
mean, you can
mean,
you can get away with it.
to be fair, in Smash 4 and Ultimate, there is a KK Slider outfit, but it's a gunner, so his guitar is being used as a gun.
Oh, see, so okay, we would be fine then. And then I even even though Toon Link's in the game, supposedly, or maybe they're cut in this theoretical world,
Yeah, who knows?
you can have a Toon Link outfit with the Wind Waker as the baton.
Yes, that would absolutely
Uh,
work.
so I like it, and of course, this is where we pull from the real world, and you can have uh, noted musicians like our friend Jamie Allen Morad as a Mii costume.
Or Bad Boy Man.
Yeah, yeah, or Bobway Man, made by T Fish, available on Spotify.
Oh God.
Anyway,
I
it
mean,
is.
and assuming they ever did want to go like the real world route, there is a lot that they could do with musician outfits.
Oh
Get
yeah,
like a standard. Go to classical. Get something that Beethoven wore or Tchaikovsky, or I guess Skrillex. Sure,
yeah, yeah.
I don't know, but
They
there
can
is a
actually
lot
go
they
that.
could do there.
Yeah, yeah. They can go the Beethoven route without really pissing off too many people. I think too, because it was such a long time ago. It's basically
I mean,
he was a real person.
you don't even have to
Yeah,
get his outfit. Just get an outfit in that style from that time period. Something
exactly.
that musicians wore,
Yeah, yeah. I
or a
like that. I like that.
high school marching band outfit. Holy shit!
That would happen 1,000%. There's no way it wouldn't. Um, good thinking on your part. So my next idea, well, it could be more one or two parter, because they're so basic, honestly. So we have the sword fighter, right? They fight with a sword, more or less, if I'm not mistaken by the name. Uh, there's a counter move as one of their down specials. Yeah, it's a sword fighter. Um, so what I'm thinking of is, why not give the other elements of the weapon triangle a little bit of love? Have a Mii Axe Fighter, have a Mii Lancer, and have their moves better represent how those weapons differ from operating with a sword, which can be pretty great. Have the Axe Fighter be a little more on the brutish side, operating like a barbarian lumberjack kind of individual with heavy hitting moves that and hatchet throws. Maybe one of their specials can be reminiscent of something along the lines of villager chopping down a tree. There's stuff to work with there. Me Lancer, javelin toss again, an easy projectile. Uh, some I don't know. You can pull from uh, Fire Emblem characters a little bit. You can have an F-frame costume, a secret costume, and even pull from their moves in Fire Emblem Heroes or something for different variations on how to operate with a lance. Or if you wanted to get a little fancier, you can call it a Mii Dragoon and include maybe dragon based elements if you wanted to make it a little zestier. And you can include wings maybe if you wanted to. You can include fire, whatever. Summon the big old boss dragon from Ring Fit Adventure for your
Oh
final
God.
smash. And yeah, so off the top of my head, Cecil Harvey would be a good Mii Fighter costume for that. Or for the Axe Fighter, you can go Assassin's Creed, because there is a hatchet based Tomahawk based character with
Connor.
Connor and Dorcas from Fire Emblem, a fan favorite amongst our clan. And just yeah, yeah. So that was there. You go. There
So
you go.
my thoughts on that. Uh, we have a sword fighter, and you're essentially proposing, why not also have an axe fighter or a lancer, or potentially a dragoon? Which,
Yeah.
sure, that could happen. But I feel
Hmm.
like if you're going to do that route, you might as well include an axe fighter, a lancer, and a dragoon as actual characters. But let me propose this to you.
Hmm.
What if we remove the sword fighter entirely and replace them with the Mii Weapon Master?
Yeah. Let's do it.
And the moves are sword moves, there's axe moves, there's lance moves, there's chakrams, there's shurikens, there's daggers,
Bow and
there's
arrow.
hammers, bow and arrows, just like the whole smorgasbord of weapons. For those of you that have played the City of Final Fantasy, Firion.
There you go.
He
There you go.
he uses bows, he uses an axe, he uses daggers, he uses swords, and he combines those different attacks, those different weapons with magic attacks too. There is an attack he has where he will throw out two electrically charged daggers that can connect with an opponent, and then he can pull them back towards him. It's a
Hmm.
crazy move, and I love it.
So
Like,
his
if you... Yes, what?
no I don't remember what you would call the equivalent of a Final Smash into City off the top of my head. It's been a while since I played.
I believe they're called
Uh,
EX Burst.
okay, so would his EX burst be have to do anything with wine or wildfire?
What? I'm
Yeah,
not sure
you
what
know
you're asking.
like what Furion did to ward off Stannis.
What?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, right?
No.
He's playable in this city.
For the main character of Final Fantasy 2.
Oh, who played that game?
Hi. My name's Zantok, otherwise known as Fuck You. You son of a bitch. But, no, it's like, having the idea of a weapon master could work pretty well, because then you can kind of get rid of some of the sword fighter attacks that are dumb. But
Mm-hmm.
for a character that's like, say, Edelgard from Fire Emblem Three Houses, you'd be like, okay, typically for the weapon master, most of the costumes are probably going to have a sword be their default weapon that you see.
Mm-hmm.
But with Edelgard, it could be an axe, no problem. If they did Dimitri, it could be a lance, no problem. It'd probably
Yeah.
stick to being those three types of weapons. Like, you probably wouldn't have to be a bow. I mean, I guess you could
Mm-hmm.
maybe do it, because it's going to be seen as like some of their normal attacks. It kind of depends on how the weapon looks and if it would really work in that respect. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it would allow for more creativity in that regard, and less of
That would
saying,
be.
"Hey, look, only characters that have swords or sword-like weapons can be a
Mhm.
sword fighter costume."
Oh man, yeah, yeah, that's true. That would be great for characters who are multi-purpose too. So if you're bringing in a character as a Mii costume like Geralt of Rivia or Dovahkiin, there you go.
Yeah, you could
That,
change
or
all
or
their.
Monster Hunter.
Yeah, you could, like, for Monster Hunter, his sword could be the Rathalos sword, but maybe he
Yeah.
also has a Rathalos axe and a Rathalos lance for the attacks, which does bring up the
Hmm.
point. Assume we did have Mii Weapon Master and they throw an Edelgard costume onto there.
Hmm.
They're going to have to actually also design the axe and the lance and the other kinds of weapons that should be using, because I don't
Yeah.
think they'd be going to. They could just have generic ones, but I don't
Hmm.
think they would. For something
It would be
like,
extra. It would be
yeah,
extra incentive to purchase the costume.
right. Like for an attack like the Shuriken of Light, you can
Hmm.
keep that one standard. But at least at the bare minimum, axe, lance, sword, those ones should be stylized in a certain way. So
Hmm.
Edelgard could have. I imagine this could probably be like the steel weapons from Three
Yeah.
Houses. So
Yeah.
any of the three Fire Emblem characters would have like steel axe, steel sword, steel lance. And it just depends on
Hmm.
who the character is, on which one is the quote unquote default that you see in the actual costume.
Hmm. Oh man, yeah, and as a slight extension of that soapbox, please let Edelgard be playable in Smash Six. That would be nice.
I mean,
Anywho,
what if she's not the best character? What if it's Dimitri or Claude or Byleth?
you're
You
making
know
it
what?
sound like
You know
maybe we'll
what?
have to discuss that.
Maybe we should discuss that in a later episode. We'll discuss which Fire Emblem Three Houses protagonist is the best character at the Smash. Let's go ahead and say we're gonna do that.
Eloise. Okay.
Raphael,
Yeah. Let's go after it.
Lysithea.
Um.
Holy
There you
shit!
go.
Great character. Love her.
Yeah. 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 Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Before we get carried away on that one, you said you had three ideas. What's your next?
So my next one is going to be more or less what I thought the Mii's were going to be when we could have gotten them for Brawl, and that's the Mii Athlete.
Nice.
So Mii Athlete is going to be primarily taking inspiration from Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort, and throwing some other generic stuff on top of that as well. So again, one attack could be swinging a baseball bat, rolling a baseball, rolling a bowling ball.
You
What
can
an
roll
idiot.
a baseball too, but it
I
might
mean, you
not work
could.
too well.
You could.
That would be a good
Boxing
pitch, though.
moves.
No one would see it coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could do boxing moves. You could have a horseback riding move, fencing,
awesome.
archery, throwing a frisbee.
Throw the
Uh,
frisbee and have the dog from the dogs and cats from Wii Sports Resort can chase after it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting attack, and I think about it, but yeah, that could actually work. There's
Mm-hmm.
a lot you could do with the with Mii athletes moves. Just like and anything that's you hey, you want to do this, but it's not from one of those games. I mean, it's an athlete.
Yeah.
So fucking what?
Yeah.
You could take the shot put away from the Mii brawler where it doesn't belong and put it on the
Mm-hmm.
Mii athlete where it does belong.
Oh, and then you can play as an athletic Santa Claus.
Yes. Or you can play as a charge and chuck.
Yes, you can. Or Ring from Ring Fit Adventure. Speaking of that,
Sure.
yeah, or something from uh, I forget the Power Procon or Inazuma 11, or even bring in FIFA or something insane like that into the
Yeah,
mix.
it's
And
like I was thinking like the hard thing with the Mii athlete is what kind of costumes can you give it that aren't just real people? Like,
mm-hmm,
I'm not too big on sports ball, so names aren't really coming to mind.
mm-hmm,
But like a famous baseball player or a football player, like yeah, you could have costumes of them in, but that'd be a little strange. I feel like it'd be
mm-hmm,
much more likely to have like a generic basketball jersey or soccer uniform or whatever.
yeah.
But I guess you
You
could
know
also
what
do
would be?
something like
Yeah,
Mario's outfit in Mario Strikers Charged, or Waluigi in Mario Tennis Aces,
that's true. That's true.
Rosalina's outfit when she's riding bikes in Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah, yeah. Or backyard sports.
Oh my god, give me Pablo.
Yeah,
Pablo
yeah.
Sanchez, the secret weapon.
There you go. If backyard sports were to ever get anything by God's grace, it probably would be Pablo.
I mean, it really has to be Pablo. He is
Hmm.
the face of those games.
Yeah, yeah.
There's some
And
other characters that have been in multiple versions of the games, but Pablo is the closest thing they have to a main character. He's like the mascot, similarly to
mhm.
how Tracer is the more or less the mascot of Overwatch.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, no, I really like that idea, and it's a great way to call back to the Mii's origins, because they were a huge part of the Wii,
Oh yeah,
and that casual movement drawn by um, Mii's themselves. I wouldn't say that the Mii's themselves are famous, like Sakura. Sakura was drawing back to that conversation from Famitsu,
hmm
but I would go so far as to say the Wii was certainly famous. The games that the Mii starred in were iconic,
yes.
still are major selling games, and it's actually a little surprising that we haven't gotten better tributes to them in Smash yet, given how much they've influenced Nintendo
Yeah,
moving forward. So no, I
there
like
should
that.
have been a spirit of Matt. There should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
for those of you that didn't play a lot of Wii Sports, as you're playing through each of the different sport types tennis, baseball, golf, boxing, and baseball. Did I say? No,
Mm-hmm.
bowling. I think I said baseball twice. So, bowling. As you're playing through, you get ranked. So, you get points depending on how well you did or how poorly you did. And when you get
Mm-hmm.
up to that 1,000 point rank, you're going up against like the quote unquote pro player of the game. This doesn't
Mm-hmm.
really apply too much to like golf or bowling, but like if you're playing boxing, which was was my second favorite, you're actually going up against different Mii's as you're boxing, and when you get to that top tier ranking, that 1,000 pointer, it's Matt. It's specifically this one Mii. While all the other ones are just random face, random name, there's always this one Mii, Matt, this bald black guy with a goatee, and he
Mm-hmm.
whoops yo ass. He's also been featured in some
Yes,
of
he does.
He's also been featured in some of the Game FAQ's best character ever contests that they've done over the years.
Mm-hmm. He's a
Why I
fan
don't know,
favorite. I
but
want to win.
he's funny. So I feel
Yeah, he
like
is.
there should have been a spirit. There should have been something for Matt.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So I've kind of been dancing about which idea I would toss at you because
hmm
I just kind of went nuts with it and came up with a bunch of different ideas. But I feel confident about how about a Mii painter? Something
Okay.
Yeah, you know how I championed Vince in the past, and how Vince
As well as
stunningly made it in
Adeline.
as an assist trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Adeline as well.
His assist trophy
Um,
could have been better. It's kind of
it
lame.
could have been. It could have been, but just to see him there in that animation was just amazing. I do have a Smashtopia submission to Vince as well, if
Oh
anyone
god.
wants to check that out. Yeah, it is phenomenal. Anyway, so yeah, that's really drawing from there. Draw from get these painters in video games somehow are able to just draw paint rather paint paint different scenery and or objects and summon them into life. So for the most part, we're bringing that mechanic that would be prevalent with Adeline. We would be bringing that mechanic that would be prevalent with Vince and smashing it into a character. And that unveils all sorts of different things. Like you can have a chargeable standard special depending on how you customize it. You can have it lob a bowling ball forward, or a little bouncy ball that splashes paint on the ground.
A bouncy goo
And
ball that, yes,
yeah, yeah,
with inkling
and then
paint mechanics.
yeah, exactly, and or you can shoot out, like you can get nuts with it. You can throw out painted enemies from various series, like a painted Bronto Burt flies out of there, like Adeline would have been, or a huge
Pa-
painted truck.
Paint a
You
rain
know.
cloud that
Hmm.
slowly moves forward to the side, and that rain
Hmm.
cloud is painting more rain down, dealing constant damage to anybody that's foolishly staying in the cloud.
Yeah, exactly, and maybe something like that could be since it's not a general real cloud, it's an ink cloud. You can have that substance from the ink, just that sludge rather, just block out projectile attacks and use it as a defensive mechanism.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
you can ride a painted cloud upward, take a painted vine upward, a whole manner of things. So it's just using the power of creativity to get you by with this really kind of random artistic character
Hmm.
that you can bring in all manner of directions. And then of course, Vince outfit works for it. Adeline outfit works for it. Uh, Paint roller, smear goal.
The painter from Castle Crashers.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. And I'm pretty sure there's a painting monster in Castlevania. I can't remember the name of right now, but that too.
Sounds
So
about right.
yeah. So that's those are my three. Those are my three.
Interesting. It's like painter. Like, admittedly, I would much rather have an actual character that's fitting this arc, whether it's an Adeline or a Vince or whatever. But
Hmm.
I mean, hell, nobody can argue that it wouldn't be fun.
And I forgot my other point. This would mostly be to achieve my personal dream of having Bob Ross be playable.
I mean, yeah. If they were ever adding a painter Mii Fighter, and they don't give
Hmm.
us a big old afro
Hmm.
as a piece of headgear and like a painting smock for the
Hmm.
costume, come on, come on. Like, obviously they're not going to give us a Bob Ross outfit for like the same kind of reasons that we were saying we're not going to get an actual pro athlete.
Hmm.
Give us a generic painter look. Give us the fro. We'll make Bob
Hmm.
Ross.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And that's it's a little sad that we wouldn't get an actual licensed outfit for any pro athletes because I don't know about you, but I've been yearning for Sammy Sosa to be playable in a video game for a long time.
Whoever that
Beyond just the
is.
regular MLB series. Look it up sometime. Anyway, uh, but yeah, I'm okay. Glad you dig it.
Indeed. So,
Hmm.
my final me fighter. This one I have here is what I personally consider to be the best option for a fourth me fighter. And yes, I'm biased. Get over it. But in my mind, this is single best. The single most thing that we need to have is the next me fighter because it kind of feels in like the last missing archetype that we could have. Because we've got a brawler who's doing fist fighting. We've got a sword fighter who's, fighting with a sword, obviously.
Hmm.
We've got the gunner who is your long range specialty fighter.
Oh
They're
my
shooting
god,
things
I
from they're
know what
shooting
you're
things
gonna
all over the
say.
place. I mean, it's not that hard to think of what I'm saying. And I am, of
I
course,
just am.
naturally can only possibly thinking of the Meat Beastmaster.
Whew, that took a turn further than I thought it was going to because I thought you were going to say me esthetician.
Nope, I'm actually thinking the Mii spellcaster.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yes, it does. It's like we've got, sort of speaking, with our three Mii's already, we've got the beginnings of an adventuring party for D&D or whatever your RPG of choice is. You've got the
Mm-hmm.
warrior with the sword fighter. You've got the monk with
Find
the
me.
brawler. You've got a ranger with the gunner. Where's
Mm-hmm.
our wizard? Where's the
Mm-hmm.
Mii spellcaster? Bring me the spellcaster.
Mm-hmm.
There is limitless potential with what a Mii spellcaster could do. Fire spells, sure. Ice, no problem. Uh, Gravity, yeah. There's all kinds of
Mm-hmm.
crazy things you could do. Throw lightning, put up force fields, heal yourself. There's a
Heal
crazy amount
others.
down there. Yeah, heal others, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a kind of costume that you can use for it as well. You could take Verity off of the Mii sword fighter costume and put her on as a Mii mage. You could
Yeah.
use I had ideas earlier and I forgot to write them down. You could take mages
Gino.
Gina.
No, no, he'd be better as Gunner.
Yeah, Gino
Uh,
needs to stay on Gunner. But
yeah.
there's Fire Emblem characters that you can throw on there for like Celica or Micaiah,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Hubert from Three
Yep.
Houses.
Yep. You can have a
There's
Mallow costume though.
Yeah, you could do a Mallow costume. A
Mm-hmm.
Falfel would work pretty well as well from the Mario games.
Yep. Dementio.
Vati from Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot.
Black Mage.
Black Mage, yes, that's the one that I wanted to say at the beginning of it that I completely forgot.
Yeah.
Black Mage from Final Fantasy
Mm-hmm.
One would be perfect for a Mii
Oh yeah.
spellcaster, and it would
Oh
probably
yeah.
be my Mii spellcaster costume of choice, if I'm being honest.
Oh yeah.
But
Of
there's
course.
so much you can do with it. And I'm not going into full details on it right this moment because I like the idea of maybe possibly putting a Mii spellcaster on the Smashtopia site, either one that I just do on my own, or maybe it's one we do an episode on. Who knows? But it's something
Mm-hmm.
that I don't want to spoil too much of the things that you could do with it because I really want to make it.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to that then.
Oh yeah,
Um, I have one last idea that I wanted to run by you before we are out of this segment.
go for it.
Because it was just too good to pass up. So you know how when hacking was very prevalent back like during the Brawl days, and you can have action replay and just go wild with it, uh, like with Project M or things along those lines.
Project
But
Dims. There were several even just costume hackers. I forget what they were calling
yeah,
themselves.
yeah,
There were several groups
but
that were doing that work.
hmm but that's where custom moves were around before
Yeah,
they were before in Smash 4. So like, and
towards
there
the
would
end
be
of
some
Brawl's life cycle, people were actually editing character moves. It was
Mhm.
insane.
Oh yeah, I remember I had a playable Spider-Man. But nonetheless, you know how you can have some just insane moves to really turn the battle in your favor in ridiculous circumstances. Um, so like, where Samus would shoot a charge shot and it would be like as big as the stage,
Yeah,
or just a single slash of a sword would cause shockwaves to emanate throughout the entire stage. Game breaking hacks like that. Um, so you follow so far. So how about this? A Mii fighter that encapsulates all of those game breaking ideas and brings them into a logical character called the Mii deity. And the only Mii that you can use as this Mii fighter is Sakurai.
what?
Yeah, that's about the reception I was hoping for. Okay.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Sakurai is being added to Smash Six as a Mii deity.
It makes sense. I
To,
mean,
to,
we
to
commonly
be
talk about
to be
his
real,
godlike nature.
to be real though, I don't think I would be opposed to Sakurai actually adding himself to Smash.
No.
I I
No.
I, I would
Hmm.
I would think it's weird, and I don't think I'd want it to come back in future games. But I'd be okay with it as a one-off. Sure.
Yeah. Sakurai versus Pepsi Man versus Piranha Plant. That is the question.
Sakurai.
Uh, agreed. So anyway, to take this to another pillar of conversation before we wrap up,
Yes.
we've been talking about Mii costume ideas. do you have any others that you want to throw out there for the world?
Yes. So, in
Oh,
preparation for this episode, I went ahead and I created a list of 5 characters per different type of currently existing Mii Fighter that I would like to see get a Mii Fighter costume, either as DLC for Smash Ultimate or for a later Smash game.
mm-hmm.
Some of these are third parties, most of these are third parties, but I have a few actual Nintendo owned characters for each of these. And I've
Yeah.
got 5 for the Brawler, Sword Fighter, and Gunner. And I figured, assuming you have some as well, just start with the Brawler, and then we'll go from there and make comments on what each of us chose.
Okay. Well, this is going to be interesting because I didn't have any form of organization to this like you did.
I mean, my organization is that I
um,
have 5 each. That's it.
yeah, yeah. My organization is I just kind of threw a bunch of crap into a blender. Okay, so
I mean, sure, they can all be
for
talked about. Why not?
yep, starting from the top then with brawlers. I was thinking we have a Captain Falcon Mii costume. Why
Hmm.
not top it off with a Black Shadow brawler?
See,
Um,
I considered an F-Zero costume. I just couldn't think of the character that I wanted to use.
yeah, I mean there's a lot you can use Mr. EAD if that's your thing,
Hmm.
but Black Shadow. I mean he's a big character in the franchise, and he's one that Smash talks about a lot for other reasons. So I just kind of threw that in there.
Yeah, makes sense.
Um, Otherwise, for brawlers, obviously, other fighting games and beat 'em ups are just a real pig pen full of ideas to just jump on into and get messy with. Um, so I'm not going to jump too far into that lane,
Yeah,
but
I
I will
intentionally
say,
stayed away from other fighting games.
yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
goddamn. The only one I consider was Chun Li.
Hmm. Oh, that would be good. And, what I was thinking was shout out to our friend Addles and our current Judgment stream, because Yakuza is becoming a very popular franchise again
Oh
and is
yeah,
prevalent in the West. So why not include someone like Takayuki Yagami from Judgment, or uh, any number of characters from Yakuza, and that could be Sega's way of including one of their new flagship franchises in Smash.
yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
so that, so yeah, that off the top of my head, or you can have a character from, Streets of Rage or Final Fight, to, like a Hager me costume would be fantastic.
Agreed.
So yeah, so stuff along those lines. Otherwise, off the top of my head, you can have a Machamp costume.
Mm-hmm.
That could be feasible. Uh, I'm really just pulling things out of my hat now. Uh,
Hey, you know nothing wrong
let's
with that.
see. Yep, we had a King K. Rool costume back in the day. Why not a Fort Brawler? That
Yeah,
would be fun.
I
That
would
would be a
be
lot of
so
fun.
in for Wart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh, you could pull from Punch Out. Give us, Piston Honda. Give us Doc Lewis. That sort of thing. Uh,
Glass Joe, Don Flamenco, uh,
yep.
Von Kaiser, Soda Popinski, King
Yep.
Hippo.
Yep. Mike Tyson. No.
Probably not. Mr.
Bru-
Sandman, though.
yeah. Bruiser from the Mario games, maybe,
Oh,
or
yeah.
Boom Boom.
Probably Boom Boom.
Could also work. Yeah, Boom Boom and gosh, whatever they call his boomerang friend.
Pom Pom.
Um,
And with
yeah,
shurikens.
that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That would work for Sword Fighter then. Okay, so there's some random ideas for Brawler. What does your more organized take have?
For mine, I actually don't have any of the characters you mentioned, and I did forget. Oh, I actually do have a fighting game character on here, but it's only the one, and it's one from a
Hmm.
franchise that is not repped in Smash period at all. That's Scorpion.
Hmm. Ooh,
Scorpion from
that.
Mortal Kombat would be a great choice for me, brother.
Hmm.
I've also got Phoenix Wright from Ace Attorney, who might be a little
Nice.
strange seeing him in the Meat Brawler sort of moveset, but I mean, if we can't get him playable, he's not going to be a gunner. He's not going to be a sword fighter. So let's make him a brawler.
Hmm.
Come on, give me some Phoenix Wright.
Yes, yes, please.
I've got the Mock Rider, who
Hmm.
ripped the Grunch Leak, who made us all think he was going to be in Smash.
Hmm.
Starman from
Ooh.
Nintendo's Pro Wrestling game on the
Oh
NES.
yeah, yeah.
Not technically the like the quote unquote main character of that game, because there really isn't one, but the default fighter in that game is Fighter Hayabusa. But Starman, for some reason, he's sort of like the character people talk about from that game. I'm not really sure what the reason is. Maybe it's because they find the idea of a wrestler in a pink bodysuit with a blue star on his face to be funny. I mean, that's why I care about it. But
I find it inspiring.
I find it hilarious. So I think having a Mii brawler of Starman would be crazy cool. And my fifth one might be a little out there. And it could work as a sword fighter or a gunner as well. So maybe this is the character that could have a costume for all three. And that's the Primid from Subspace Emissary.
Well, all right. Did not expect that.
You gotta admit, that's a perfect choice.
Yes, it is.
But those are my 5 for the brawler.
You know, I just thought of another brawler too. How about some callbacks to DK? You can have a Chunky Kong outfit. Just throwing that out there. Yeah,
absolutely.
Mike. But what I was getting to though was Mike Jones.
Yes. From Star Tropics.
Yep. I mean, his main weapon of choice is a yo-yo, which I was trying to think of a way that could be included in a gunner, and it's like I can't. I don't know. So yeah, there you go. So with that said, are we moving on to sword fighter or gunner next?
Sword fighter.
Okay, sword fighter. I mean, there's just kind of naturally more to take from more readily. Oh God, and Kunio-kun and Urban Champion could be easy Mii brawler outfits too.
Oh yes.
Okay. So for sword fighters, let's see.
There's a bunch. There's a bunch.
There is. So how I approached it for the most part was working sideways. So ones that wouldn't be traditional sword fighters that you wouldn't necessarily expect.
Interesting.
With that said, my first sword fighter,
like Averiti as a sword fighter.
Yeah,
but
not better than that. Like Samurai Goro, that's obvious. So I'm just getting him out of the way right away. Would be good. Because I just kind of like to focus on F-Zero for this for some reason.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. So then beyond that, how about Cranky Kong as a sword fighter and have his cane be the sword? Or
that one hurts me on some level, and I'm not sure if that level is seeing Cranky Kong use his cane like a sword, or trying to envision of Cranky Kong. Granted, it's not Cranky Kong; it's a character wearing a costume of Cranky Kong, but seeing them move like a Mii. For some reason, that one is just hurting me.
It would be bizarre. I'll give you that much.
Yes.
Or Barbara the Bat using the guitar as a sword.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prince Richard was another one I thought of.
I consider them
nice. Yeah. So okay. Moving on from my supposedly underwhelming list. What is on your plate?
So first of all, I just checked. There is no Barbara the Bat Mii costume. Only her wig. You can use her wig as a Mii for the Miis, but she does not have an actual costume herself.
Interesting.
So there is no Mii sword fighter of Barbara the Bat.
Ballyhoo would be a good sword fighter with his cane.
Ballyhoo has a Ballyhoo's no. Now his hat, Big Top, would be good for a piece of headgear. But no, I disagree. But as for my 5 sword fighters, 4 of these are third party. First off,
yeah.
Yes, go on.
Never mind. Never mind.
Very well. The first one is a major piece of bias on my part, and that's give me Sly Cooper, damn it. Give me Sly Cooper now. I don't care. I want him. Obviously, he would use the Cooper cane as his sword.
That hurts me on some level, and I'm not sure why. Um,
Get over it.
what is it? I can't imagine it if it's maybe imagining a me dressed up as Sly and moving like a me, but it almost hurts
It's
me.
better than a geriatric monkey who uses a damn fucking push cart.
I don't know. What if Scrooge McDuck was in this game? Anyway, no, I'm messing
Mm.
with you. That would be cool.
The next one I have is one that I'm sure a lot of people are thinking as well, that while they would prefer them as a DLC character, they would take a Mii costume if they had to, and that is Sora.
Oh yeah.
Keyblade is an easy transition from sword for the sword. It just makes sense. If you're not going to give us the character, give us the Mii costume.
Mm-hmm. I'm
The
on
next,
it.
yes, the next one I have is Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins,
Mm-hmm.
who he's primarily seen, wielding a lance. But I mean, for Smash Mii Fighters, he can use the lance instead of the sword. What the hell's going to be the difference?
Yeah, yeah. Or if we have the me weapons master, there won't be a difference.
Yes.
There you go.
Next up, I have Byleth, actually, from Fire Emblem Three Houses, and I chose Byleth because they're the least interesting character we get actually be playable. So let's just make him a Mii costume instead. And you can do male
I'm
Byleth,
yeah,
and you can do female Byleth. No problem.
yeah,
No more
yeah.
Fire Emblem avatars in Smash. I've
Yes,
had
please. Can we
enough.
can we just get Cyril instead?
No!
Oh,
Byleth before
okay.
Cyril. Fuck Cyril.
Oh,
Annoying little shit.
how about the gatekeeper?
Oh, God. Well, I mean, the outfit itself wouldn't be that bad.
Mm-hmm.
But the last sword fighter option that I have here is actually Dirk the Daring. Which, if
Oh
none of you
yes.
know what Dragon's Lair is, you need to look up Dragon's Lair. It was an old arcade game that played out like a movie. You see this goofy looking guy, Dirk, in a knight's costume, who's going out to save a princess from the dragon. But the whole thing plays out like people bitch nowadays about games like Resident Evil 5 that has its oh, I forget what to call them, but essentially cutscenes where you're having to make inputs, and if you fail,
Mm-hmm.
you start the cutscene over because hey,
Quick time
you got
events.
a quick time events. Thank you. You got to
Mm-hmm.
tap that button to push the boulder out of the way as roided out Chris. But that is what Dragon's Lair is. The entire game is quick time events,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't know what to do. You don't know. Oh, hey, there's this guy swinging a sword at me. Do I push the button to swing my sword too? Do I click left to dodge left? Do I click right to dodge right? Do I go click up to jump, down to duck? Find
Mm-hmm.
out. Oh, you turned right, but he slashed right. Well, that's a quarter down. Put another quarter in the game to start over from the beginning.
Yeah.
And these quick time events are incredibly quick. You don't know they're coming. You have a short window to press them in. Dirk the Daring is Dirk the Daring and Dragon's Lair are an iconic piece of gaming history,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think he'd be crazy cool to have as a Mii Fighter costume, or even be playable itself.
Yeah. It really calls back to kind of that minor bias nowadays, but what started the trend of just having real icons who've been around for decades playable in Smash. So that might not be too far out to really think that way, because those FMB cutscenes and QuickTime events in that Dragon's Lair were among the very first ever in gaming. So
Yeah.
there's a spot for Dirk in gaming history, and that could extend to Smash. I mean, we've had Dragon's Lair, I think, on the 3DS before, so there's a that would be cool.
Before we
Gosh.
move on to the Gunners, there is another
Hmm.
character I want to mention that I consider for Sword Fighter, but for reasons similar to what I kind of had that weird moment with Prinky that I decided to drop.
Okay,
Steve from Minecraft.
interesting.
While looking at him purely from an appearance perspective, perfect choice for a Mii Fighter. Absolutely. You can even do a stance where it just looks like the character. It doesn't even just look like a costume itself. But then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I don't think that works. I don't think Steve can work as a Mii costume because the Mii's move in a specific way. and seeing Steve perform those movements just doesn't gel. It doesn't work. Now I think Steve could work
Hmm.
as his own character because then he can be programmed to move around in a specific way. But putting Steve's image on a Mii Fighter, I no, I can't see that one working.
Yeah.
It's too fluid. It'd be like
Yeah.
taking Mr. Game and Watch and making Mr. Game and Watch as a Mii costume instead of having him be playable, or Paper Mario. It just
Hmm.
doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. That brings me to actually another thought. I just opened up my cabinet and I'm looking at my PS4 and Switch games right now. I'm like, oh, I wonder what other Mii Fighters I could take from this. Off the top of my head, before moving on to uh, indie based game Mii costumes, more along the lines of Sans. We can have Hollow Knight, the Knight from Hollow Knight, rather, as a sword fighter.
Shovel
We
Knight.
can have, yeah, Shovel Knight as a sword fighter, Miriam from Bloodstained as a sword fighter. Although that would be funny having both Bloodstained and Castlevania in Smash. Um,
Shantae could be a spellcaster.
yeah, that she could. That she could. So there's a certain panache about that I like. Um, Quote from Cave Story, Gunner,
Yeah.
easy. Um,
Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm, yeah, that would be a good way to pay him homage, considering there's no way in hell he would have homage paid to him any other way nowadays.
God, no.
On that same leg, Duke Nukem. Just kidding. Uh, let's see. While we're on the subject of F-Zero again, Pico would be a good gunner off the top of my head.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can see that.
yeah. Silux, we get all of this junk about how he's supposedly going to be really prevalent in Prime 4, and if that doesn't come about, or if we just don't get him for some reason, he could be a gunner. Or potentially a sword fighter, I guess, with those arms. Um, Although that would just be weird seeing a Metroid character in those in that light. Um, Jill, Leon, and Chris could be gunners. Big Boss could be a gunner. Even Nathan Drake or Laura Croft from more survivalist third
Yeah,
person games
absolutely.
could be gunners. Master Chief could be a gunner, or Doom Guy. Uh, Professor Layton, I have listed as a gunner. Surprised you mentioned Phoenix earlier, which might be a little surprising that he's a gunner, not a brawler. He would actually be more fit for a brawler, and considering his gentlemanly nature, and I wouldn't be
Yes.
against that. He has gotten into some fistfights anyway. Um, but that gun that he rigged up, and I think, gosh, the Unwound Future, the third title in the series, from a casino, a slot machine gun that he made on the fly, shooting out. Gosh, what do you call them in chips? Just shooting out chips. That was kind of the idea that I had to adapt the gun, so that's why I made him a gunner. Um, but he can be a brawler. It was just a fun idea. But what could work as a gunner or a sword fighter or a brawler actually? But I listed them as a gunner, and this is a legitimate idea. Um, how about Biomiracle Bokute Upa?
God damn it. That thing again.
The Yes, the titular baby from the '80s classic Biomiracle Bokute Upa.
You know who would be better than
Um,
that? Chucky Finster.
really, maybe we'll get back to Chucky at a later date, but right now we're focusing on Upa. Um, you can have that miracle inflation rattle that Upa has, and just turn that into the gun, and have it shoot out confetti or candy or something cute. You can have him carrying one of those pigs with the huge snouts that shoots out little shot putts, and have that be his gun or something, and it would it would be grand. Oh, how grand it would be! Or, because let's get real here, Upa would be the greatest character to ever be included. Make Upa a Mii deity as well, and have Upa share the spotlight with Sakurai. That was a great game, though. Truly.
I'm so tempted to just start playing Fire Emblem right now and ignore you. But
Yeah. Hmm.
onto like what my Mii Gunners would be. You said two
Hmm.
of them already, which I'm not surprised. I assumed you're going to say these two because they are,
Hmm.
assuming they don't get to be playable, which I think one of them still has a chance as the fifth DLC character. But Doom Guy, Master Chief, perfect choices for Mii Gunners.
Oh yeah.
Is there a more perfect choice? I don't think so. They are by far the most obvious specs. But
Hmm.
since you said those two, I actually had to real quick come up with two more to replace them because I still wanted to have my five, and I might have just forgotten what one of them was.
Carolyn
So,
Meadows,
what? No, I don't. What? No,
the president of the NRA, of course.
no, stop it. One of the ones that I came up to replace them was I don't remember his. Oh, I don't know if this character has an actual name, but it's like the promotional art character for the Fallout games, Vault Boy or whatever you want to call him.
Oh yeah.
He's wearing the typical Vault Tech uniform. He's got that blonde hair. To give
Hmm.
him a typical Vault weapon or gun or whatever, or just have it be the Pip Boy on his arm. There's your gunner right there. Done deal.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Chell from Portal. She's literally got a
Hey
portal gun
Kelly.
on her arm. Yes. Kelly's made a moveset for her. That's going to be on Smashtopia.
Hmm.
Henry Fleming from Codename Steam.
Yes, sir.
Why not? RIP
Hmm.
Codename Steam. The game did not get much promotion and it was dead on arrival, but hey,
Hmm.
there's a good choice to get a steampunk outfit on.
Yeah.
Why not? You could do this one I like. Stanley from Donkey Kong 3, the arcade game.
Wasn't he a comic maker as well?
He was Stanley the Bugman.
Oh yes,
He he
I like it.
had he had the like the pesticide gun or whatever you want to call it that he would
Hmm.
spray around that you had to dodge around. That would be a really cool idea for a gunner and call back to some retro days.
It would be.
And I don't remember what the actual fifth gunner I had to replace Master Chief and Doom Guy, so I'm flailing about trying to grab one out of my butt. But how's about, as I'm looking at my games here,
Chucky
um, no,
Finster.
no, no, stop it. You stop this nonsense right now. Instead, I'm going to say Dr. Neo Cortex from Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, that'll work.
It would absolutely work. And I
It would
can't remember
work.
what my other idea was, so that one will do.
I mean, on that same line, maybe something like Eggman would work too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Hmm.
I've said it before, but I don't like the idea of having multiple third party characters from the same franchise playable in Smash. But that doesn't mean they can't get a Mii costume. Give
Oh
us an
yeah, of
Eggman
course.
costume. Give us a Dr. Wily. Give us Chun Li. Give us Revolver Ocelot.
Yeah, Dr. Wily could be a good engineer if there were ever a me engineer too.
Yeah, Eggman as well. Eggman and Wily would be engineers.
Yep, and EGAD.
Yes.
Of course, when we get Luigi playable in the next game, all bets are off.
God, I hope not. There was a rumor a while back saying that we were going to get Luigi as a
Echo
as an
Fighter.
Echo Fighter in an upcoming DLC Echo Wave, but I
Hmm.
believe that was proven false. So thank God.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I never updated you on that one, but I believe that one was the creator of that rumor came out and admitted that it was fake.
Oh well, fair game then.
Yes.
All right. Well, unless you got any further ideas, I think we can call this one good to go,
I
closed
do
and ready for the
believe,
masses.
yes, I do believe that's a wrap on Mii Fighters. Where we
Awesome.
stood is that Jonno doesn't think they're going to return. I think they should.
Hmm.
Mii Spellcaster is by far the best concept for a fourth Mii Fighter.
Uh-huh.
And
And
there's a crazy amount of cool new
Biomiracle
costumes.
Bokute Upa will be in the next Smash, either playable or as a Mii costume, and there will be a stage.
Over my dead body.
Well, nevertheless, I think we can all look forward to our next episode,
It's gonna get
Smashtopia of
spooky.
Gengar. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, just in time for Halloween.
indeed.
We are Gonna shout at you soon about building a Gengar moveset from the ground up together, and that'll be a fun workshop. I really enjoyed the last Smashtopia episode we did,
Mm-hmm.
so I think that one's gonna be pretty awesome.
I've got a few ideas for some
Um,
of the moves that I'm
mhm.
just really loving, especially my standard special. I uh, I thought of that move before I thought of doing the character, so I'm excited for it.
Yeah, a lot of the moves that I figured out for Upa, I'm just putting towards Gengar.
Uh huh.
Yep. All right. So yeah, let us know what you think about Mii Fighters. Are they here to stay? Are they not? Do you have any ideas for Mii types or Mii costumes? If they did stick around, let us know. And until next time, we'll talk at you later.
Goodbye, Juju.